Yo, welcome to another video on the React channel here. We have another video from Oda, um, the worst modern race in NRRA history. The worst modern NRRA race. I can't talk today. Um, Based on what it says here, pretty sure I know what race this is. But we're still gonna react and see what he said about this race. If you enjoy this video, like, subscribe, all that. I'm gonna keep posting some of this kind of stuff on this channel. I'm gonna try and get some more stuff put out here soon as I get less and less busy with stuff outside of YouTube. Alright, let's get into it.
February 6, 2024. The location, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. On the last restart, the 88 car, OG Glory, is leading.
88
Oh,
leads, 88 leads, 88
okay, this is not what I thought. This is something different.
leads.
Behind him, though, the 41 is about to make the charge for the lead, maybe even for the win.
Comeback. Making the comeback.
Yeah.
My God, bro.
That is not Dega, by the way. That is someone else.
Oh, oh!
But wait, there's somebody else. Happy Noob, the second piece of the story, makes a charge by wall riding the last two turns
Yeah, also acknowledge how they both wall ride.
onto OG Glory. What happens next is cinema.
It's going to be close. Yo, the 5 made the pass.
Hey, bro,
the
watch
5
your
made
jet.
the pass. Come on.
Watch your jet,
come
bro.
on.
Watch your
Yo!
So that's the 88 can't do that, by the way, for people that don't know.
Yo! You can't do that. You can't do that. Yo! Wait, who's that other card? The 96. You can't do that. You can't do that. The 88 cannot do that.
As you can hear Dylan repeatedly saying you can't do that.
The 88 cannot do that, bro. Hold on. Wait. I'll have to recheck it. I'll recheck it. Maybe he'll be able to win. Hold on.
This was way too early in the league to where penalties didn't even exist, so the win was eventually given to OG Glory. It wasn't perfect, but hell yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah, it's a good way to finish a race, I guess, in a way.
The race I'm about to talk about is the exact opposite of what happened on that day.
Okay, so I see myself leading. I'm assuming it's the Indy race. They also have Dega's YouTube channel. Go sub to him, I guess. Tanuki, Soaring, Dega, Iron, Rover. I'm pretty sure I know what this is about to be.
6 seasons later, we're
Yep.
back at Indy. Indy has been a historical track in this league, seen from the first clip I showed. Drivers and fans are reminiscing of the past.
Yo, that's me. Wait, when is this? I'm on a call with Blue during this. Wait, you can see Blue's there. When was this? When was I in a call with Blue doing an intro? Alright, whatever.
Telling Happy to drive the number 5, which he actually eventually drove. Oda is ready for his commentating debut. Dylan is ready to record.
I forgot this was the first race Oda decided he wanted to commentate with Dylan in D1. Not a very good race to commentate.
B-Dog is ready to stream. This race
I was ready to stream.
seems like it's going to be a banger. The Brickyard 400, one of the only crown jewels on the schedule. This is the current
Dang, the points. Wait, how far? I was at 275. Dang, so yeah, I was climbing at the time. I was still climbing a crap ton. Because I just won at Iowa. Dang, I didn't realize how close I was getting.
situation of the season 6 standings. Dega, an Unk, has been winless all season
That's crazy.
and has had a lot of mid results, coming off his worst season off record. Rover has 2, making the season kind of like the Unks versus the New Gens. Last time
That's a good way to describe it. What in the blurry picture is this?
out, it was B-Dog winning his hometown track and ended
Yep, I mentioned that just a minute ago.
off kickstarting what I'm about to explain later. Anyways, let's go to the race. We go green.
I have the only POV of the race, so he's probably going to use only my clips.
Right off the bat, the two dominant cars of today, Tanuki and B-Dog, begin to battle each other for the lead, separating themselves from the rest of the field. Possibly some foreshadowing.
I wanted to push Tanuki out so far, and it worked.
The first 5 laps are probably the most entertaining part of the race, as
I don't know about that.
it all goes downhill from here. They form 2 packs, and the 2 cars battling for the lead. Basically, those whole 5 laps, which is, in my opinion, that was a really entertaining battle, but it only lasted 5 laps, sadly, and it was at the start of the race, and it didn't really matter. This is the peak of the race.
Tanuki was really
For the
fast.
next 10 or so laps, Tanuki leads with B-Dog right behind.
Yeah, so
There's
this is
also
when I
another
decided to push
interesting
him.
thing happening in the back of the pack, as Rover was always being held up
Yep.
by the number 11 Iron Wolf machine, who started, ironically, front row in this race.
He did. I forgot about that. He was P2 to start the race. He qualified P2 and then just dropped like a rock and held up Rover the entire race.
For the next 10 laps, B-Dog
Okay.
dominated, yet Tanuki fell behind, and Iron was getting hold. Wait, what? No. Rover
Nice.
was getting held back by Iron again. A few bumps happened, but that was the only resemblance of entertainment these whole 10 laps. This was literally choo-choo train racing. Soaring,
It was.
the next piece of this puzzle, was actually catching up to Tanuki.
Yeah, so I don't think I might have put it in my video, but he doesn't mention it here. I got like 6 seconds ahead at one point. Like it was shaping up to be one of the most dominant races ever. But they did eventually catch up, and you can see over 10 to go on the right side.
They traded up positions a few times during these 10 laps, but ultimately, they just couldn't catch up to B-Dog, who was the fastest car today. Eventually, in the closing laps, something just seemed off. B-Dog was actually kind of falling back, slowly but surely.
It wasn't that I was falling back, it was more of they were able to push each other down the straights and get to my draft and catch a very large amount of time to me.
Tanuki would reduce the interval to just 0.6 seconds, and when it was 2 to go, Tanuki actually had a shot,
I said the same thing.
as he was in sight of the leader. He just needs Soaring to work with him. Well, Soaring didn't, off-screen. It wasn't
Yeah, Soaring, for the most part, he was pushing him, but as the laps winded down, we got to the end, he wanted to get past Tanuki and get to me. But Tanuki was blocking him.
really his fault, to be honest, but it would help. But to be honest, I don't think it was enough, and Tanuki ended up messing up a corner off screen. All
Yeah.
B-Dog had to do was cruise to the checkered, and that was it.
Yeah, I knew after they messed up turn 4, I knew I was going away with the win. I would have to mess up a very large amount. I would have to smack the wall and basically spin out for me to lose this race.
In B-Dog's video, he skips every 10 laps because that's how boring it was.
Yeah, basically.
I ended up finding a Daytona interview, which that driver was basically 4th place.
Dega had an interview? I'm excited to hear this because I didn't even know about this.
And was a victim of the back of the pack. So, enjoy.
Yeah, no, that race was pretty horrible actually. I thought we had a pretty good car, but Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know if you guys heard on the radio, but I think I was snoring half of the time during the race. No, I was snoring. Yeah, no, I woke up and we were on turn 4 on the final lap. I was like, that's fun. Yeah. Worst race ever, by the way. If anyone's gonna mention it. Worst race
I guess.
ever. I do not want to be a part of this race. Ever. God, I hate this track.
It was very boring for him. He literally had no one around him to battle.
This ended up kickstarting a 10
Oh
race
my,
win streak from
it was not 10.
B-Dog in all series.
It was 7. it I would like to say it was 10, but it was 7. Cuz then I lost the race after this. I lost the D2 race to Tanuki.
Making this era of the league one of the most boring. It also created the meme, I wake up, look at my phone, B-Dog won again. Then I go back to sleep.
Yeah, oh,
There are so many other candidates on the worst modern race. This is the one I chose for many reasons. I even made a list. 1. Favorites like Rover and Dega were stuck in the back. 2. Last pass for the lead was on lap
jeez.
18 out of 40.
That is kind of sad. We weren't even halfway through the race, and the last pass for the lead was made. I cannot believe I led that many laps. That, dang, okay.
3. One wide train. 4. The only time Tanuki had a chance, he messed up.
Yeah, he messed up turn 4. And if he didn't mess up turn 4, he has a good shot at me down the backstretch.
5. Ended up leading to a 10 race win streak by B-Dog, making
Erase 10, make it 7.
making this era of the league one of the most boring.
I wouldn't say one of the most boring, but at the same time, that was my first season, but I don't think it was crazy boring, because I didn't win till late D1 season. D2 was exciting a lot of the time because there were spurts of cautions and stuff. D1, yeah, there were times where it was just very caution free. There were a couple races that were just like go, 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 go. Chicago would have ended the exact same way. And I mean the street course, not Chicagoland. Chicago street course, if I didn't have to leave mid-race, that race would have been another one of these races.
I do have to admit, it is impressive winning 10 in a row.
It is, but I didn't do it, sadly.
But it was really boring. Seeing, like, it's like Max Verstappen 2023. It was just really boring, but really impressive. So, I also forgot to include Iron was holding up Rover. So,
Ain't no way I just got compared to Max Verstappen. That's crazy.
yeah. And that was 6 minutes of me explaining why this was the worst race in modern NRA D1 history. I could make this for D2, but I already know my selection. If you want to know my selection for the worst in D2, D2 Texas last season, and for D3,
I wonder why he chose Texas.
I don't really know. They're all kind of bad.
I wouldn't say they were all bad, but none of them were like crazy entertaining. No, you know what? The championship race. That was the worst race. What are we talking about? The championship race was the worst race. This is the most unorganized race I've been a part of. And that was because it was pretty much last second and there were only me and Dylan on a road course in just Daytona trucks. It just doesn't work great. But that's the end of the video, which means it'll be the end of the video for me. So, if you enjoyed this video, go sub to Oda. He's over 100 subscribers now. Get him up to 200 or something. Make it cool for him. But subscribe here as well. Like it, all that stuff. And that's it. See you in the next reaction.